Hi, ArcfieldWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Monday morning, July 18th. It's another one of those days with a severe weather threat in the Mid-Atlantic region and the northeast U.S. In addition to the possibility of some strong thunderstorms with damaging wind gusts, there's a real likelihood of some flooding rainfall. We have very, very high moisture levels this morning, high dew points, a southwesterly flow of air in the lower parts of the atmosphere just pumping in more and more humid air. And that combined with some upper levels of support could very well result in some afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms that can dump a lot of rainfall in a short period of time. There have actually been some showers and thunderstorms already early today that just passed through the New York City metro region. That a batch of showers and storms did produce some heavy rainfall, but a redevelopment is expected later on this afternoon into tonight. Looking ahead, it looks like this could present probably the most extended stretch of hot and humid weather so far this summer season in the Mid-Atlantic region, northeast U.S., from let's say Wednesday on through the end of the work week and right into the upcoming weekend. Potential high temperatures, low to middle 90s in places like D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, perhaps into the weekend as well. Let's start off with a look at kind of two maps for the price of one. Here we're looking at the precipitable water amounts. This is the amount of moisture that you can squeeze out of the atmosphere if the lift in the atmosphere is just right. And it shows as much as 2 inches right here, kind of the bullseye over interior New Jersey. And the arrows represent basically the moisture transport at the lower levels of the atmosphere. And you can see really a broad fetch of air coming from the southwest to the northeast this morning into the Mid-Atlantic region, into the northeast U.S., and that is just continuously pumping in humid air, and it will continue to do so for the next 6 to 12 hours or so. Already some very high precipitable water levels here, and we'll see in a moment. We will have some lifting in the atmosphere by some vorticity now over the Great Lakes, moving south and east towards the northeastern quadrant of the country, and that lift will help to squeeze out some of this moisture later today and tonight. Again, watch out for the possibility of some flooding rainfall up and down the I-95 corridor region, especially later this afternoon into this evening. Well, a quick look at the radar loop this morning from the College of DuPage weather website. Again, we had some showers and thunderstorms early today that just exited north of the New York City metro region into northern New Jersey, and still some isolated showers and storms across east central and northeastern Pennsylvania. But here's where we're looking right now, upstream across West Virginia and into the eastern part of the Ohio Valley. This whole area will continue to expand to the north and east over the next several hours. And again, this afternoon and evening certainly poses a threat for some showers and thunderstorms in the Mid-Atlantic region, the northeast U.S., and any shower or storm later today into tonight can produce some torrential rainfall, maybe some localized flooding conditions, strong to severe thunderstorm possible as well with some damaging wind gusts. So a bit of a break in the action for the next several hours, but then watch out later this afternoon into the evening. Well, this is the forecast map from NOAA's Weather Prediction Center, the Storm Prediction Center, specifically based out in Norman, Oklahoma, for the probability of severe weather in the northeastern part of the nation. They have a marginal risk up and down the I-95 corridor region in the Mid-Atlantic region. This very well could increase later today to a slight risk, maybe even enhanced risk, such as the case right now across the far northern plains. So watch out. This could very well intensify in terms of the outlook from the Storm Prediction Center. Certainly, what's on the table is a possibility of some heavy rainfall, but even some strong to severe thunderstorms on the table for the Mid-Atlantic region, the northeast U.S. Well, we talked about the high precipitable water amounts right now. In other words, very, very humid air mass in place in the Mid-Atlantic region, the northeast U.S. That moisture can be squeezed out if you have enough lifting in the atmosphere to help to squeeze out that moisture. And vorticity, spin in the upper part of the atmosphere, is certainly one way you can have some upward motion and some lift in the atmosphere. And indeed, We're looking upstream right now, and this is the forecast from the 6Z NAM model for today and tonight. We'll walk through it, and here's the area of vorticity already this morning over the eastern Great Lakes. We'll move across here on an hourly basis now to the middle of the day, and then later on this afternoon all the way into the early evening. This is the 8 p.m. forecast map, and first of all, you can see kind of a trough in the upper part of the atmosphere right here. And a lot of this vorticity will have an impact and produce some upward motion right in this region right here. That's a plus for upward motion supplied by this vorticity in the upper part of the atmosphere as it slides across from the Great Lakes into the northeastern part of the nation during the afternoon and evening. That will produce some upward motion throughout the I-95 corridor region from D.C. to Philadelphia to New York City, even eventually up to Boston. And again, with very, very high humidity levels in the lower part of the atmosphere, you can see some quick 1 to 2 inch rainfall amounts in any of these showers or thunderstorms, and also the threat for some localized flooding. Well, let's walk through the surface forecast maps from the 6Z NAM model run. This is the radar reflectivities. There is a batch of showers and storms right now just north of New York City into northern New Jersey, southeastern part of New York. NAM model did not capture that too well, but upstream across West Virginia, eastern Ohio Valley, this is the area we will now look if you're in the Mid-Atlantic region right now, looking upstream, because everything is moving from southwest to northeast, and that includes the high humidity levels too from the southwest to the northeast. We saw that moisture transport, which was at 850 millibars. Here we go into the midday hours right here, and we'll see an expansion of the radar coverage showing echoes here by the midday and especially during the early afternoon hours. And then by the time we get into the latter part of the afternoon, here we go. We have quite a line forming late in the day. This is about the 7 p.m. forecast map. And look at this by the time we get to 8 p.m. here. A pretty impressive line here. Again, very, very high moisture levels. So this frontal system, this vorticity, will act to produce some upward motion in the Mid-Atlantic region, lift in the atmosphere, could squeeze out a lot of moisture in a short period of time. So watch out, especially later today into early tonight, for the possibility of some flooding rainfall and localized flooding conditions. Here we go into the latter part of the evening. This is now midnight hour going into the overnight hours, and that slides all the way to the coastal sections, and it clears on out of here by tomorrow morning. This is the early Tuesday morning forecast map. Looks like generally a very warm day on Tuesday, probably rain-free, but a lot of action before we get there this afternoon and tonight. And then the middle and the latter part of the week look very hot and humid, probably the hottest and most humid stretch of weather so far this summer season for the Mid-Atlantic region, the Northeast U.S. Low to mid-90s possible for afternoon highs Wednesday, Thursday, Friday in D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, maybe even into the upcoming weekend. That's it for now. For ArcfieldWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.